One of the most challenging elements of a birth injury case is letting a parent know that what happened to their child was avoidable. And there's two sides of this. One is there can be relief for parents who have been carrying that they did something wrong. So one of the things I bring to these cases is I always assure the parents there's nothing that they could have done wrong. They're relying upon healthcare providers to tell them what they should do, what they shouldn't do, when they should push, when they should get an additional ultrasound, an additional blood test. All of these things are based upon their healthcare team's recommendations. But parents often come to me feeling intense guilt, like they knew something was wrong, that they should have done more. And so one of the things that I bring to these cases is to assure them that there's absolutely nothing that they did wrong, nothing that they could have done differently. But the second layer of emotions attached to that is the fact that hearing your child has a lifelong, very severe injury was avoidable is intensely painful. So in some of my cases, we've determined that there's a genetics issue at play, or there was a stroke in utero, totally unpreventable. The negative of that for these families is compensation won't be accessible to them, at least not in the way of a personal injury lawsuit. And sometimes lawyers can look at that as giving them bad news. But in some of those cases, they express the most intense relief because they're hearing this wasn't avoidable. Nothing could have been done differently. And there is some emotional relief that comes with that. The other side of that, again, is that those parents that I have to tell there was a mistake made and your child could have been born healthy, and we're going to advance a lawsuit on your behalf to ensure that your child can be taken care of and can be made whole to the extent that finances can do that, which we know is never going to be enough, but not financially speaking, but in terms of the emotional toll it is to know a family member is going to live a very different life as a result of an injury. And there are emotions that come with that. And I think it's really important for any lawyer who does this work to recognize that fact, because this isn't a meeting that you can sit down and say, great news, we're going to advance a lawsuit, we think it's strong. No, it has to be handled very differently. I have some news that may be difficult for you to hear. The positive side of this is that we're going to be able to obtain resources for your child. The reality is we believe something could have been done differently. We believe mistakes were made. And I think you have to approach that with real sensitivity because it is painful. It can be a trauma for many of these families. Assisting clients with their life after their lawsuit resolves isn't something that every law firm prioritizes. But from the day I started at Gluckstein, full circle care, which means caring for clients after a case is resolved, has always been incredibly important. With our birth injury clients, post-settlement is a huge change for them. So they go from having very little to no services to all of a sudden a significant amount of compensation that they can use to better their life in many significant ways. So that can be from anything from, the parents were providing 24-hour care up half the night with their kid to now having the option of having nurses come in and help with the family's needs. And that's a huge difference. But so too is different kinds of devices that make travel easier. Their home may need to be modified. They may need to move to a new home. And one of the ways that we assist, so number one is a couple years ago, we developed a post-settlement guide that we provide to our clients at the end stages of their case so that they understand what's coming, how we can take preventative steps to make sure they're well positioned to manage money that they haven't had before, how to keep track of expenses, because that is a huge part of being a guardian of finances for these kids, and what things they can do to make things as simple as possible, because it isn't a simple thing. It's great to have the resources, but they have to be managed appropriately. So we developed this guide, super important. But also, in addition to all of that, we also give them resources. So sometimes families will say, I don't even know where to start. Can you tell me which of these companies is a good company to provide home care? Or do you have any recommendations for people who do home modifications? What experts should I use to look into these things? And those are questions which, if we have the answers, we will provide guidance. Those things, generally speaking, we've come across before. Even when I don't, I have a whole network of past clients that I will put clients now in those shoes in touch with, so that they're able to communicate with other people who've been in their shoes, gone through these steps, and you can learn from what others who have gone before you have learned. And those lessons are super important. After I finished working with a client, I hope that they walk away feeling like they were cared for as a human, that their life is a little bit easier, that the load is a little bit lighter, and that they feel as though everything was done for them to achieve the most just result.